Welcome back to another episode. For months now, South Africa has been watching two extraordinary processes unfold: the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee. Both were established to interrogate a seemingly simple question, namely, has our criminal justice system been captured? But what has emerged is far more than a technical inquiry. These forums have become a stage for a much broader and deeply troubling drama, one that points directly to the very top of our police service. Today, we reflect on what we have learned so far by following a thread that begins with the minister and ends with a shocking accusation that may explain everything: the political herd. To understand the scale of the crisis, we must begin at the top. The suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, has emerged as a central political figure in this unfolding saga. Late last year, the Madlanga Commission heard initial allegations linked Minister Mchunu to a shadowy network. At the center of those allegations were a controversial businessman, Brown Mokhotsi, and an alleged underworld figure, Vusiket Matlala, both said to be connected to the minister's political funding. Then came the denials. Ket Matlala from prison submitted an affidavit claiming he did not even know the minister. Brown Mokhotsi later took the stand and denied all allegations. But his testimony did not merely deny, it veered into bizarre. Mokhotsi claimed to be a spy for SAPS crime intelligence. He further alleged that General Mkhwanazi and even King Misuzulu were CIA spies. His evidence is that they had been trained or educated in the United States. This raises an unavoidable question for both the Commission and the public, which is, are all South Africans who studied abroad now suspected foreign agents? The sheer absurdity of the claim made it feel like a desperate distraction. The smoking gun. If the Mokhotsi testimony felt surreal, what follows was stark and deeply alarming. Last month, a man identified as Witness E appeared before the Madlanga Commission. He presented an audio recording. On that recording, a voice alleged to be that of Minister Mchunu is heard asking whether a statement has been finalized. Witness E's allegation was chilling. He was being pressured, according to him, by the minister himself to sign a false affidavit, one that would wrongfully implicate crime intelligence head, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, in a matter of Sindiso Magaqa. This moment changed everything. If a sitting minister is pressuring a witness to commit perjury in order to frame a senior general, then every denial offered in his defense must be re-examined. Why would a prisoner suddenly submit a supportive affidavit from a prison cell? Could earlier denials, such as that of Mkhutsi, be part of a coordinated effort? Witness E's testimony suggests a pattern of fabrication, casting a long shadow over the minister's version of events. The systemic problem. This brings us to the present, and a statement that now sounds less shocking than prophetic. Before the ad hoc committee, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo said that most police officers in Gauteng are corrupt. The reaction was immediate outrage. Many dismiss it as a reckless hyperbole. But after everything we've heard, should we still be so certain? Former Lieutenant General Khomotso Phahlane testified that he was the last Lieutenant General lawfully appointed by the cabinet around 2008. If that evidence is correct, then more than 90% of the current lieutenant generals may have been appointed unlawfully. That means the legal foundation of SAPS senior leadership has been compromised for more than 2 decades. Illegality at the top normalizes impunity below. Rules become optional. Accountability collapses. What once appeared to be isolated scandals now look more like symptoms of a much deeper structural failure. The shadow command. But the testimony of witness F adds a new and deeply unsettling dimension. According to witness F, General Shadrack Sibiya functioned not merely as a senior officer, but as a central coordinating figure. What the witness described sounds like a choir master from within police offices and allegedly using fellow senior officers. Sibiya is said to have coordinated activities involving figures such as Ket Matlala, Mswazi Msibi, with the involvement of senior colleagues including General Shibiri and Sinona, among others. What is particularly striking is where these individuals were positioned. Many were deployed in organized crime units, or the Hawks, precisely the units meant to combat the very criminality they are alleged to have facilitated. If this testimony is accepted, it does not suggest random corruption, but strategic placement. The last 4 national commissioners were either dismissed for corruption or exited under a cloud. The same was the case with some senior generals such as Lamour, Mdluli, Hlela, and Tlemeza. From the text messages of witness F, we have learned that organized crime figures were allegedly furnished with police docket, warrants of arrest, and even police blue light, effectively outsourcing state power to criminals to eliminate perceived obstacles. This is not corruption as opportunism. This is corruption as governance. And it raises a profound question. Was the real center of power in SAPS political offices or inside the police service itself? In the light of this scale of fraud at the top, Khumalo's claim no longer sound implausible. It sounds disturbingly possible. The path forward. So, where does that leave us? With a minister accused of fabricating evidence, with defenses that collapse under scrutiny, with mounting evidence of police leadership structure built on illegality and corruption, and now evidence suggesting that operational control may have rested with an internal network rather than the formal command structure. In its interim report, the Madlanga Commission took an important step. It recommended that several high-ranking officials be subjected to immediate and independent investigation. This is necessary, but it is not sufficient. It treats symptoms, not the disease. What South Africa needs is a fundamental reset. First, a transparent and public process for appointing senior police leadership, similar to the one used in judicial appointment to restore legal legitimacy. Second, a re-evaluation and re-interview of all senior generals under this transparent network to weed out strategic placements. Third, a comprehensive integrity reset, independent lifestyle audit, financial vetting, and strengthened accountability mechanism for the entire senior leadership. We begin this story with a minister and a web of denials. We end it with a general's claim about systemic corruption. The thread connecting them is the evidence we have all heard. Political interference and institutional decay are not separate problems. They are two sides of the same coin. The question is no longer whether there is a problem. The question is whether we have the courage to fix it at its roots. This is not just a policing crisis. It is a public service crisis. The evidence now forces us to question whether the public service has been run according to the law or according to an informal shadow command. Across the state, people are routinely appointed to positions for which they lack the skill, experience, or competency to perform. Yet, since 2008, public service has received some of the highest salary increases in our history. We are paying more and getting less. This is why infrastructure fails. This is why service delivery collapses. This is why trust in the state has eroded. The investigation into the allegation of police interference continues. Share this, discuss it, demand the reset our institutions desperately need. This has been another episode of the Civic Interest Sentinel. Ndingumqondisi. Until the next time, stay vigilant.